Hi everyone, this is your friend Dr. Obi. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for being here. So, today Nigerians woke up to the breaking news that the Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo, has decided to withdraw charges against Ms. Comfort Emerson. Of course, the press statement issued by the minister, contained so much. A lot was said concerning the fact that the government has come to learn a whole lot of lessons from all that happened, starting from the incident involving KWAM1 and ValueJet, and that involving Ms. Comfort Emerson and Ibom Air. The minister, of course, said a whole lot, and in all of the back and forth, the summary is to the end that Ms. Comfort Emerson would be allowed to go home a free person and all charges would be withdrawn against her. Also, KWAM1 would have the no-fly ban imposed on him reduced to, I think, 1 month. And most shockingly, the government has decided to nominate him as an aviation ambassador, whatever that means. This isn't just depressing, but extremely shocking. Ordinarily, it would appear as if the government is good intention, wrapping the entire gesture around the withdrawal of charges against Ms. Comfort Emerson. While it is a good thing to withdraw charges against Ms. Comfort Emerson, because really all of what transpired between herself and Ibom Air were things that could have been resolved amicably, and really the issue of assaults against airline staff and all that, of course, even though those things were things that she could be charged for, but they were things that were still minor, so to say, particularly in the light of the fact that rights itself had even been violated in the process of being evacuated from the aircraft. But the same cannot be said of the case of KWAM1. KWAM1, in videos that have gone viral the entire world, was seen standing before an aircraft and obstructing the aircraft from taking off. As a matter of fact, a couple of persons have even insinuated that KWAM1's action in some jurisdictions would, most likely qualify as a terrorist act. And that is the same person that the government, has decided to not only pardon, for want of a better word, but has gone ahead to nominate him or prop him up as their supposed aviation ambassador. One must say, because it is important to be able to, hit the nail, on the head and speak to the issue where it is. It is clear that the government's action in pardoning Comfort was nothing but a comical reaction to the national backlash against the government for refusing to prosecute KWAM1. The government, had come under intense pressure, given the public outcry, questioning the government's, two-tier and selective enforcement of the law, in the sense that where the government was quick to charge Ms. Comfort to court and remand her in Kirikiri, someone that committed a more severe offense was allowed to walk away free and had even been attending music shows even after that incident. And so, in order to cover its face in the light of its selective enforcement, in order to save KWAM1 and also save itself of all of the embarrassment, that had continued to, follow Comfort's arrangements and incarceration in Kirikiri, the government decided, to just wipe the slate clean by claiming to have withdrawn charges against Comfort as well as KWAM1. So, for any discerning mind, it is clear that the government took this step not as an act of gesture, that point must be stated, but simply as, if you may, a Maradonic, attempt or approach to save KWAM1 from facing the wrath of the law. Now, one must say that this is, quite unfortunate, and this goes to show how unserious the current government in Nigeria is. The government claims, to be a pro-democracy government. The president is often, portrayed as someone that fought against the military, and that is a champion of a democracy, a pro-democracy advocate. If that were to be true, then by now KWAM1 would be, in prison. Why? Because part of the tenets of democracy is, the supremacy of the regular laws as well as the rule of law. The rule of law, prescribes that everyone is equal before the law. And that has not happened in this case. Rather, what we have seen is that, we have seen, gross inequality, between two citizens. One, a part of the high and mighty, the ruling class, the power brokers, and the other, an ordinary Nigerian who doesn't have a surname, if you may, to herself. The implications of this latest action of the government, is quite grave. First, it sends a wrong signal to the fact that the government is comfortable with accommodating impunity in the country. There is a likelihood that this will not be the end of the saga. There is likely to be a KWAM3, a KWAM4, and most likely a KWAM5. We are still likely to see incidents of this nature, occur in our airports, and we wait to see what the government will then do when those incidences, when they happen. With those same individuals, let's say it happens next week or in 2 weeks' time, will those same individuals also be allowed to go home free, or will they be punished? When that time comes, the government will again be called to reckoning. Secondly, the government has not acquitted itself creditably before the international community that has been waiting up until this time to see what the government will do. The Nigerian government often claims that Nigerians are disrespected, across the world. This is a reason why Nigerians will get disrespected. Why? Because if this were to happen, for example, in the United Kingdom, even if it happens to a high-ranking government official in the UK, such an official would have resigned from office and would have been made to face the law. So if the UK would apply its law against its own citizen, why should the UK respect any other country that chooses not to apply that same law against its own citizen? That country has simply shown to the rest of the world that it is not to be taken seriously. And I must say, very frankly, that is what the Tinubu government, has demonstrated by its action in this matter. The government found itself in a very tight corner, and instead of doing the right thing, it decided to protect its own interests and the interests of its own. Lastly, the government has shown that its days are numbered. The government has given Nigerians another reason why this cannot be the government, that would give birth to a new Nigeria. The foundation of any new country is that there is the rule of law applicable to all persons, irrespective of their status or their position in the society. If a country fails in that regard, it doesn't matter the number of roads or bridges that are built in such a country. Such cannot be taken, to be a new country that, is arising. So it is quite unfortunate. In my earlier videos, I'd prepared a legal analysis of both the case of Miss Comfort versus Ibom Air, as well as that of KWAM1 versus ValueJet. You can check out those videos, to educate yourself, at least concerning, what the legal position is. Even though the law is, has been failed in this instance, that analysis, is still useful in the sense that, like I did say, there is likely to be a KWAM3, a KWAM4, and most likely a KWAM5. And perhaps when we get to that bridge, would cross it in terms of our discourse. Just thought to share my views concerning the government's latest action. If you like the content here, please subscribe to my channel, like the video, and please do share the video. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Thank you very much.